Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still tuned into the biggest, the baddest, the most hip and happening show in the motherland, and we promise you nothing but the best of entertainment. And I am joined by Shanda today. Are you having a good time?
I'm having a good time, and what's interesting now is that I'm matching with the couches. So
You know, you are blending in, which
Yes.
means you're supposed to be in the studio today.
Yes.
So, anything interesting that you've learned for the first beginning part?
I've learned just to, just to be relaxed,
Yeah.
I mean, during the ad break, you told me that I'm doing well.
Yeah, you know, hey, he's not doing too shabby.
So I'm just going to relax and have a good time.
Amazing. Now, joining us on the Yellow Couches, as I mentioned earlier, is Leisa, who happens to hold, wait, let me tell you a little something, Bachelor of Laws, Masters of Law, Commercial Law, Educator, Entrepreneur, so many different things that you are doing. Black child, we are proud of you. Congratulations on all you've achieved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I feel welcome so far.
Okay, that's good. That's the main thing. Now, let me
Yes.
know, what is it? I mentioned so many things that you do, and some
Okay.
people at home are probably like, wait a minute, what does he do? What does that all
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
So give us a brief of who you are.
Okay. As it has already been mentioned, my name is Leisa Leisanyane.
Yeah,
Most people confuse it with Lisa, but it's not Lisa.
Yeah,
It's
Leisa.
Leisa, Lisa. And by profession, I'm a lawyer. So I define myself as a lawyer, an educator, and a creative at heart.
okay.
My passion is mainly on the business of the creative industries. Well, I deal with, my specialty is in intellectual property law.
Right.
I deal with, people within the entertainment industry. I deal with musicians. I deal with, film producers. I deal with photographers. I deal with the business of the creative industry, among other things.
Right.
I'm also an educator. My passion, especially on intellectual property, is I don't feel like a lot of creators have the knowledge of intellectual property, which
That's
is,
true.
fundamental to the business of the creative business.
Yeah.
And so, I've developed this passion to educate in forums such as this, in presentations, and in the near future through guest lectures as well,
Right.
so on and so forth. And as a creative, I've been in music, I've been in poetry, in a lot of other spaces as well.
That's a contrast.
So yes,
Because I mean, it's law, and then it's the creative side, and you're tapping literally into both. And actually, they both combine because you do law in the
Yes.
space of creative.
this is why I consider myself as a extraordinary lawyer, because I'm not your. Look, if I deal with a lot of creatives, and creatives, they're outcasts, and you don't usually find a lot of lawyers in there, in that
Yeah.
space. So yeah, I guess it's good to say I'm an extraordinary lawyer, and it's odd that you find a lawyer in those spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that you work with a lot of creatives, and in the news or on TV, we often hear that this artist didn't do things right. Now they are saying, no, I was not paid for my song, such things. What are other things that, or other mistakes that artists are making that you've dealt with?
Okay. I think the main one is on the issue of contracts. A lot of artists are either one, ignorant to contracts, or two, they don't take measures to find assistance in either reviewing or drafting their contracts.
That's actually the same thing that's happening right now to Megan Thee Stallion.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, and with a lot of famous musicians also,
Yeah.
you find the locked-in contracts,
Taylor Swift
which
also.
and
Yeah.
we don't even have to go out there, even in South
South
Africa.
Africa.
We know a lot of artists that
Rick.
I don't even want to mention names. I don't even want to mention names.
I know all of them. I'll give them to you.
There's a lot of artists whom are locked into contracts that they cannot get into because one, when they were offered these contracts, they didn't find either someone to review them on their behalf, someone with the expertise of the
Right.
business, or even just
were
read up on them,
desperate.
do
Yeah.
research, this and that, to familiarize themselves with the terminology or the legalities of that particular contract.
Right.
That's the main thing that I think a lot of artists fall short of.
Yeah, and then how can we change that? I mean, obviously by learning through things, but I can imagine I'm an artist and I've been doing my music for quite some time and I'm not getting signed, and all of a sudden this great label, which everybody knows, will put me out there.
Yeah.
And I'm the first thing I'm not gonna go is go,
Hey.
excuse me, on page 69,
Yes.
I don't like that, you know.
Yes.
So how can we deal with that as upcoming artists to make sure that we don't put you guys in so much of a, I mean, it gives you a job, but I mean, it's an uncomfortable space also for you to maneuver.
Look, at the end of the day, I think an artist should realize that they're in business. Okay? Because even if a record label approaches you, you need to understand that they're approaching you with business. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And I think the first and foremost, the mind shift should be, now I'm entering into real business and I need to deal with this situation in a business way.
Right.
And it would mean that you have to interrogate the contract. You know, you don't have to feel shy to say, hey, look, I don't understand clause 9. Clause 9, what does it mean? You know, because with questioning it, you might be saving your whole career.
That's
you
true.
know, you find, you know, some contracts are 10 years, or even some contracts say that, you know, upon signing this contract, everything that you'll be creating will be belonging to the record label for the period of that creation.
Yeah.
And then you don't even interrogate that, you just accept it, you see?
Yeah.
So what do you enjoy most about your work?
So I think the most important, the most amazing thing about what I do is, you know, while working with developing either small businesses or, you know, growing artists, I get to assist potential at an early stage, you know. I get to see, you know, my clients as they develop. I get to be part of, you know, what may in the next 10 years be the next big thing.
Right.
You know, to me that's very fulfilling. You know, I know that I'm going to be contributing to the next superstar or to the next multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
You know?
And so you are a lawyer and you touch so many different facets of law.
Yes.
So what's your favorite? Or do you feel like, man, all of them? Because I mean, you're helping people that are starting with small businesses. You're doing different things. You're not just in the creative space.
Yes.
What is your baby that's like, okay, that's close to my heart?
Yes. I think the one that's very close to my heart is this one of intellectual property.
Okay.
Because
You need intellectual property.
intellectual property is basically the creation of your mind.
Okay.
And intellectual property rights means that the rights to the creation of your mind, creations of your mind.
Right.
For example, your music is your intellectual property.
Right.
Your photography is your intellectual property. Your video, this and this and this and that.
Okay.
I think this one particularly because I first developed the love of it in my undergraduate studies when I was a musician, and I thought, okay, here I am doing my law studies, but how can I contribute this to what I love? You know, how can I link this to what I love? And intellectual property was the first thing. When I did my module in IP, I thought, okay, my in the music industry is very much underrepresented when it comes to the legal profession, you know, and I immediately saw my place there. You know, maybe doing many other things, but at the back of my mind, I think creatives are underrepresented,
Yes, sir.
and you know, maybe I can be the Moses. You know?
Yeah, delivering the people.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of art schools in the country. There's a lot of youngsters who want to be artists. They want to be, you know, they want to be famous.
Yes.
But then there is an issue that when they graduate from university, they don't really know much about copyright, contracts and stuff. What do you think should be done, or do you think our institutions of learning are doing enough to, you know, educate these youngsters before they go into the industry?
Look, I think that's an amazing question, because right now what I'm trying to do is to, you know, with a little bit of network that I'm doing, I feel that intellectual property should actually be, you know, inserted into curriculums at a very early stages, in as early as high school. You know, if it's possible, secondary or even primary. Because look, young people these days are very creative, and the knowledge of intellectual property, I feel that it should be very fundamental that, you know, we don't have a school without little pieces of knowledge here and there, so that when they get to, you know, after high school, now they know that when I create this is mine. You know, this is mine, this is my idea, this is what this is, yes.
And then before we let you go, please do let us know what is one thing that you can tell the youth out there, and also please give us your social media handles where we can find you and more know about you.
Okay. I think, so let me just begin first with my social media. On Facebook, I have a page that's, you know, doing well so far. It's advocate Leisa Leisanyane.
Okay.
And I have a website, my company website, www.legalizeddaily.com. On Instagram at I am Leisa, and on Twitter I am Leisa.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's anything I could say to
In 20 seconds.
to young people is, look, don't be afraid to be creative. Don't be afraid to be innovative, because I feel that it's always said that young people, the future is yours. I believe that with creativity and innovation, there's my favorite say that creativity and innovation will change society faster than politics, and I believe that.
All right.
This is why I'm at the back of creativity and innovation, to see that let's protect this so that we can change our society.
Right. Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you so
and letting
much.
us know
Thank you
what
so much.
so many different things mean. Actually, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
study that and actually be
Yes.
like, this is my intellectual
Yes.
property. Okay. Hopefully you're learning the same. Don't forget to go on our handles. It is Ekse_live on Twitter, as well as Ekse on K-Sound TV on Facebook, as well as Ekse_CTV on Instagram. Let us know if you enjoyed our conversation with Leisa. Let us know if you're feeling the boy who is in the studio today.
I hope you're feeling me.
I hope you're feeling. You sound so defeated, like, guys.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are. Please do hop on our socials and let us know. But right now, we'll see you after this.